Hi everybody, Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today we're doing a play along with Allegro from Suzuki Book 1. So every week I cover a song of some sort. The dartboard behind me determines what song that I do, and this week we determined it would be Allegro. So at the end of this video I'm going to throw the dart again and we're going to find out what the song is for next week. Okay, so Suzuki Book 1, Allegro. Okay, so first I'm going to play it. Just play it through, and then I'm going to play it with the metronome. Okay, so now I'll put the metronome on, and I'm not going to do a retard on the last measure, third line, because I'm going to have the metronome going. So I'm just going to play it straight through. Now the metronome is 130, so every time you hear this, that is the quarter note going by. So remember, our quarter notes are worth 1 beat, our half notes are worth 2 beats, our eighth notes are worth half a beat. So we have 2 eighth notes per beat. Okay. Okay, so now let's talk about how to play this a little bit so you can sound exactly like I played it, assuming that's your goal. All right, I think I'm playing it correctly, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we want to look at, every time we look at a new piece, we want to look at certain things. So the first thing we look at would be the time signature. So the time signature obviously tells us how many beats are in a measure, what gets the beat, things like that. So our time signature is common time, right? So that C there is common time. Also means 4/4 time. 4/4 time is common time. Okay, so that means that we have 4 beats in a measure and the quarter note gets the beat. Okay, so then the second thing we look at is our key signature. Now our key signature has 3 sharps in it. So that means that we're in a key of A major, and we have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And remember, sharps always occur in the same order. It's always F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So if you've got 3 sharps, it's always going to be F, C, G. If you've got 2 sharps, it's always going to be F, C. If you've got 1 sharp, it's always going to be F, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what about a couple other things? Our dynamic in the beginning is forte, okay, loud, okay. Now, the first line, we have a articulation marking, which is staccato. Right? So staccato means short and on the string. Okay? Then on the third line, we have lines over the notes, which mean legato or perhaps tenuto. And then we have a dolce, which is Italian for sweet, right? So we have 2 articulations in particular, right? We have the short one and then we have the long connected one. Okay, and then in terms of dynamics, the amount of sound we put out, we have forte in the beginning, which is loud, and then on the last measure, on the third line, we have that little alligator, right, going to a point, and then RIT, which means retard. So basically, we're going to be slowing down in that measure and then getting quieter. Okay, so let's talk about the staccato really quick. Okay, so the easy way to do staccato is to stay in the middle or lower part of the bow as a general rule, and you want to make sure you stop your bow in between the notes. So you control how much length each note gets, and each note will get the same length. So you have to be consistent. So it's very important when you're looking at your bow, your down bows are using the same amount of bow as your up bows. That way you stay in the same part of your bow, and every note is exactly the same. And it's important you stop your bow. No matter how fast you take this, make sure you teach yourself to stop your bow. So, okay? So basically, there's always a little bit of gap in between each note. Okay, so we also notice that we have down bow starting each line, right? So each line starts down bow. So that means that we have to retake at the end of each line. So each line ends on a down bow, and then the next line starts down bow. That means we have to retake or do a circle with your bow. So if I play the last line, if we play the last measure of the first line, circle bow or retake, then retake, go back. Okay, so now legato. So in the third line, we have those lines that indicate legato notes. So now each note has to touch each other note, and we're going to play them long. So if I play them staccato, but I'm not. I'm playing them legato. Right? And it's dolce, so you want to change the character of the music. So the first one is very kind of bright and in your face, almost like you're marching or you're having a tantrum or something. If you got little kids and you know what I mean, right? The third line is dolce, it's sweet. Retard. Then we have a fermata, or bird's eye, which means you can wait as long as you like, within reason. Then, okay, good. So that covers your articulation, your dynamics, your time signature. One thing I will mention though is for the key signature, we have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So what that means is you're going to have a high second finger on the A string. That's going to be your C sharp. So the natural position for a 2 is going to be here, right? It's going to be next to your first finger. That's C natural. Now, since we have C sharp, your second finger is going to be a half step or touching your third finger, right? So not a low 2, but a high 2. That's your C sharp. Okay, is there any others I need to mention? Yes. So your first finger is going to be in the same position on the violin as it is on your other string. So the natural, this is a little bit weird about violin, but the natural position for your first finger on the violin is here, on the G, on the D, on the A. That's A natural, E natural, B natural. But on the E string, this natural position is low first finger. That's an F natural. That's the one string where the natural position for the first finger is actually low. You touch that nut. But now since we have F sharp, now we're going to put that first finger in the same position as it is on all the other strings. Okay? So we have that first finger that's been raised, and then we have that second finger on the A string that's raised because that's a C sharp. So I hope that helps. I'm going to play it one more time, and then I'm going to throw the dart. Okay, with the metronome. Okay, so now it's time to throw some things. We have right now. We have Suzuki Book 1 through 5 songs that are all on this board. I'm going to throw a dart, and that's going to tell me what song we're going to cover next week. Okay, here we go. Throw it hard. All right, so Book 2, The Two Grenadiers. That's a pretty cool song, actually. Okay, so Suzuki Book 2, The Two Grenadiers, that's what we're going to do for next week. Okay, guys, hope the video was helpful. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys all next week.